Welcome back to the Fitness League, helping busy humans build strong bodies, sharper minds, and better lives. Join us each week as we cut through the noise, challenge the norms, and empower you to train smarter and live stronger. Today, we have another client episode available for you. We're going to be diving into Angie's story and a little bit of background about what's been going on there. You guys have really been enjoying the connection aspect of hearing it from someone other than the three of us on a weekly basis. So with that, we're going to dive right in.
All right. Today's episode is one that so many people are going to relate to because Angie's story is about rebuilding trust. Trust in herself, trust in the process, and trust in coaching after some really negative experiences in the past. When Angie came to Levolution, she had spent years with a coach who made her feel like anything less than perfect meant she wasn't trying hard enough. That if she didn't hit every macro or check every single box, that she just didn't care enough about her goals. And like so many people, that pressure left her in an exhausting start and stop cycle. She was doing her best, but constantly feeling like she wasn't doing enough. But when she started working with Tom and Haley, things looked different from the start. Tom helped her fall back in love with training, not from a place of punishment or guilt, but from a place of curiosity and empowerment. She learned how to train smart, listen to her body, and actually enjoy the process. Haley helped her rebuild her relationship with food and let go of perfectionism, teaching her that she could have human moments without spiraling into shame and starting over on a Monday. Fast forward to today, Angie's down 16 pounds so far. She's running, she's lifting with confidence, she's rocking clothes that she never thought she would, and she's showing up in her life with a whole new sense of balance and self-belief. She's a mom of two, working, farming, raising boys, and still finding time for herself. And that is what makes her story so powerful. It is not about doing it all perfectly. It's about finally learning that she never had to. Angie, welcome to the Fitness League.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. We are so excited to chat with you. Tom and Haley they sing your praises. Anytime we're talking about like a client who is crushing it, a client who's constantly revealing excellence, it's like Angie comes up all the time. So this was an absolute must.
Well, I'm flattered.
Good. So I have a series of questions for you here, and I'm excited to dive into things. So I want to kind of start with the beginning of your journey because Haley had mentioned that you had been through quite the coaching journey before finding Levolution. So can you tell us a little bit about your past coaching experiences? We don't have to name drop anyone, but your past coaching experiences and what made you finally say like, I need something different. This is not it.
So for years, I did Beachbody, just working out at home, and I really loved it. But in 2019, I got engaged. My oldest son was 4 at the time, and I just needed something a little more to I had some goals before getting married. I wanted to look super awesome in my dress. So I had found someone locally that had it was like a women's only kind of gym. Offered like childcare, so I could bring my son with me. So I was like, cool, this is like the next best thing to working out at home for me. It's going to take everything to the next level. Had awesome results initially. It was great. And then just as like my lifestyle kind of changed, we didn't really jive. It was becoming more of like that all or nothing mindset where it was either you're 6 days a week you're working out and you're tracking every morsel of food that goes into your mouth, or you're just not committed to this, which became very unhealthy for me. And after I had my second son, it was like, postpartum's hard. Everyone's body is different. I worked out my entire second pregnancy. And I still gained like 45 plus pounds, breastfed, and I came back into the gym. I had initially lost a lot of weight. As soon as I stopped breastfeeding, I gained everything back. And it was really hard to maintain that 6 days a week with 2 kids and everything else in life. And that's when I found you guys.
Yeah, that's really helpful, Angie. And I think that it resonates with a lot of people because it's not uncommon. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon that when someone comes to Levolution, they're coming from a prior coaching experience that was less than stellar. And so coming from that kind of experience, it can be really hard to trust someone new. So I'm curious what helped you feel safe and open-minded enough to start working with Levolution and start working with Tom and Haley, because that's so hard to come back into a coaching experience and trust again.
So it had gotten to the point where my husband was actually like, this isn't healthy. This is like the one thing you do for you. This is the one thing that really fills your cup. Like, I enjoy working out. That's always been like my outlet is working out. And he was like, you're more often than not, you're upset, you're stressed out about like, is she going to be upset when I go into the gym? Is she going to be upset with my weigh-in? Is she going to yell at me? Is it going to be something, it's causing you more stress than it is good? And I had followed Alessandra for, I don't know, probably since 2018, followed her journey, loved following everything that, Levolution and they have done. And that's when I decided to book a call. And just to see if it would be a good fit. And I won't lie, when I like jumped ship, I was a little nervous. And you can ask Haley, like the first couple months, I was like, I don't know. This is so different than anything I'm used to. I was used to like in person. I was used to it was a very different it was different for me. And change is hard.
Absolutely.
It sure is.
I'm really glad you touched on your husband bringing things up, because I think that can be a common thing that maybe other people are going through too. But it sounds like your past experience was more so just a lot of pressure on you. And I think as moms, we have so much pressure on ourselves all the time in all different areas for so many different things. And I think that's really one of the key things I wanted to bring back up here, because your fitness and your health and what you're doing to better yourself shouldn't necessarily add this pressure in that negative way. And I'm really happy that you've overcome that, and we'll get into that. But I just wanted to really highlight that, because I think that's a huge connection point for a lot of women, even not moms out there listening. Like, we feel so much pressure to look a certain way, to be doing certain things a certain way. So I just wanted to give you props there, Angie, and your husband too. Like, I think it's great to hear that he was able to help you navigate that in a healthy way.
Thank you.
Telling my 2-year-old to stay downstairs while I was working is not going as planned. So sorry for the quick baby cameos here. I couldn't agree more, Alessandra. I think it's important to highlight that, and hopefully, it's funny, Angie. We talk about a lot, especially in these conversations with clients, that who they get paired with at Levolution is obviously going to make a big difference in their experience. And I think it is just perfect that you were paired with Haley, because everything that comes up that you talk about, I'm like, this is such a Haley client. Like, this is such a Haley type of relationship. And I think you guys are just such a great team. And Tom is a great part of that trio as well. So I want to talk about training for a minute, because Tom mentioned that you have really embraced like principles of training, different principles of training, things like RPE and RIR and progressing intelligently. How did that shift your results and your confidence in the gym? Because it sounds like that style of training is way different than how you were previously training.
Yeah, so previously, like everything I was doing was like 12 to 15 reps, and it was much different. So even like the training aspect of this, I was very uncomfortable at first. I was like, there's no way I'm going to see any growth. I'm not going to lose weight. This isn't going to work. And like the first, phase of workouts Tom gave for me, I actually remember telling my husband at one point, I was like, I'm not even like sweating. Like this it's not working. Nothing is happening. And he's like, you just need to like trust the process and just, you know, finish it out. And like in 6 months when, you know, your thing is up, if you don't want to re-sign, you don't have to. He says, but you need to finish out the 6 months. And I was like, okay. So needless to say, I have seen better results I'm coming up on almost a year in January than I saw previously. And learning how to work at that, you know, having like 2 reps in reserve and working at a certain RP has been super cool.
I feel like that's so common that when clients start training, like I remember even myself, and we've heard this from clients before, of kind of that transition from doing like junk volume or like trying to do like your jumping jacks in between sets, or like you're trying to always get your heart rate up or like be super sweaty. And then you transition to just like a really efficient, effective style of training. And you're like just kind of doing straight sets, maybe a super set here or there, 5-6 exercises, and then you're done. And you're like, that's it. And you end up seeing so much more progress with that training style. But at first you're like, this can't be working. This can't be enough.
I think the beach body to Levolution pipeline is such a common pipeline for people because, I mean, you know, most of we have male clients too, obviously, but most of our clientele is female. A lot of our clientele, you know, they're moms. So working out at home with something on the TV, that's just kind of like a good step one for a lot of people. And I'm not going to bash Beachbody, but it is like such a different mindset, and obviously the progress speaks for itself, but I feel like so many people chase the sweat, the soreness, just like the jumping around and just doing things to do them rather than doing things intentionally. So it's really, really cool to see that progress with you too, Angie, because it's such a common it's a big hurdle that a lot of our clients have to work over, because it does feel like you're doing less but you're really just doing it better.
Well,
Can you
yeah,
talk about the mindset in that, Angie, for a second? Because I know people will come to us and go through the same kind of pendulum that you saw. At what point did you really buy into the process? Was it hitting a PR or seeing a difference in the mirror? Like, when did you start saying, you know what, maybe this is working. We're gonna keep cruising with this.
it took me through like my first, so like I'm sure all the coaches do it a little differently, but like Tom is like 6 weeks. I do 4 workouts. And it's like, I don't know, there's 5, 6 exercises in each day. And it was like that first phase, I was like, I don't like this. This isn't, I was coming from a place where there was 12 exercises in each workout, and I was at the gym for 2.5 hours, and then I'd have 30 minutes of cardio to finish, and like, it was very intense. I was drenched, I was sore, and to be honest, I'd get home from the gym and I'd like sit on the couch for 3 hours because I was like, I have literally nothing left in me. So it wasn't until like I think my second phase where I was like, this is really cool. Like, I have time to go out in the yard and play with my kids. I still have the energy for that. Like, I'm able, like, I was just like such a different person. So I don't even think it was a physique thing or like a PR thing. I think I really enjoyed having more time to do things that I wanted to do or I needed to do, and I wasn't like stressed about fitting things in because I had to be at the gym for 2.5 hours every single day.
Hey guys, real quick. If you haven't heard yet, the Fitness League app is launching soon, but only to our current audience. That means if you're listening right now, you'll get exclusive early access. To lock in your spot, just click the link in the show notes and join the waitlist. No spam, just the important stuff. And in case you forgot what it is, this is the app built for busy humans who want real results without the burnout. It's not another fitness tracker, it's a movement where every rep earns rewards, every habit builds momentum, and every workout levels up your story. Train smarter, compete with purpose. The Fitness League is coming soon, where your journey becomes legacy.
And I think I'm so glad you're touching on that too, because I sometimes think people are afraid to enter a coaching experience or coaching relationship because they're afraid that that's what we're going to be prescribing. They're afraid we're going to be prescribing like 2 hours in the gym and hours of cardio. And it's like, no, that's That is not how we typically do things. So I love that you touched on that. I also wanted to talk about a few other parts of your fitness. Specifically, you have gone from lifting and walking to incorporating running now as well into your routine, which is huge. So I want to know kind of what inspired you to start running and how has that potentially changed the way that you see fitness overall?
So pre-kids, I used to love to run. I was never like great at it, but it was something that like it was good for my head. It was just like a quiet place. I could put some music on and just kind of like get lost. I struggle with anxiety, so it kind of would quiet some of that. And after kids, whether it was just I didn't have time or just my body's different now, I never really got back into it. And I recently was in a cut, and Tom and Haley had kind of talked about incorporating a little bit of like intervals with like run walk. And I found the first like time I did the run walk intervals, I was like, I really miss running. And just watching all the coaches from Levolution kind of get into their running era, I was like, oh, I used to be able to do that. And I used to love doing that. So I kind of just like fell back into, and I don't go super far and I, still working on it, but it's something I'm finding that like I do enjoy.
I love that, Angie. And I think that speaks volumes too. Like, obviously, running is having a moment right now, but I feel like so many people have this mindset of like, if they're going to start running, they have to train for a race and like do a marathon and like create these massive goals. And that's not to say that, you shouldn't do those. But at the same time, I think that it's so valuable to just hear you say, like, I run for my mental health. And I think so many people would benefit from maybe not running, but like doing some sort of cardio just specifically for that mental health and to kind of calm their anxiety a little bit. So I love that you touched on that too, because I think, again, it's so common to see people just want to go balls to the wall and like do these massive things, which is great, but at the same time, like, we have to meet ourselves where we are and we have to make sure that we're really in alignment with the things that we are doing too. So love that.
So I want to, I know we talked about training a little bit. I want to transition a little to nutrition and mindset growth with Haley, because I know that's been a really big part of your journey, Angie. So Haley said that early on, you guys had worked through a lot of mindset shifts around food and perfectionism. What were some of the narratives that you kind of had to unlearn? Because I think sometimes that's the hardest part of a coaching journey, is unlearning old behaviors. So what were some of those narratives that you had to unlearn, and how did Haley help you kind of rewrite those narratives?
So a lot of it was that all or nothing mindset where like just I don't know, sometimes me personally, I get in my head like if I have one meal that I don't track, I'm just nope, I'm not doing this. I can't do it. I've messed up my entire week. I'll just restart on Monday. And Haley's kind of taught me that it doesn't have to be that way. One untracked meal is not going to kill your progress. It's not going to kill your week. It is one meal and it's fine. It's going to be okay. And you can still see progress.
I think that all or nothing mentality is probably the number one thing that we are working on from like a health behavior change mindset standpoint with clients. So I think that's really helpful and will probably resonate with a lot of people listening. So you had mentioned in check-ins that Haley had told me this. You had mentioned in check-ins that you used to spiral if things weren't perfect, kind of coming back to the like type A perfectionist tendencies. Like if you ate out or you didn't track perfectly. What has changed for you now in those moments?
I have so much more confidence going into, so like my oldest son plays baseball, and last week was the end of our season. So we have been going since April until just now. crazy schedule and just like kind of all over the place. And my husband's self-employed, so a lot of the times I'm doing like both kids at the field by myself, which kind of leaves me short on time. So going through a cut and being able to eat out and like not eating out like fast food, but like, you know, I'd grab like food from a pizza place or whatever, and still being able to see those results was really kind of like eye-opening for me. Like I I didn't have to be perfect all the time, and having the confidence to make good choices when I'm going out and not just emotionally picking something and being like, this is going to feel good right now, but something that I know, like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this and it's going to make me feel good, like, when I wake up tomorrow. Like, I'm not going to feel like garbage. So learning those new habits and skills.
Yeah. It sounds like confidence was a big part of it, and being able to kind of zoom out and say like what's going to make future me proud, and like who is the person that I want to show up as, and what would that person be doing if I wanted to show up like that person or as that person. I love that.
Also, just giving yourself permission too to still enjoy. Like a lot of people think when you have specific goals and are trying to be healthier, you have to suffer through it. So, like, I love that you said, still choose something that I'm going to enjoy and it's going to make me feel good tomorrow, because those two things can coexist. And I feel like somewhere along the way, we got pushed this message that, like, if you want to lose body fat or gain muscle or just focus on your health, you have to be miserable and suffer through the entire thing. And that's so just backwards. So I think that intertwines with your whole all or nothing mindset perfectly too.
And in like my previous experience, I had my sister had gotten married last year. And we had like, I was her maid of honor, and there was like a lot of different events. And at one point, it was like the Monday after her like bachelorette or whatever. And I had my weigh in, and I went in and I got screamed at in the middle of a gym because, well, you weren't there celebrating you. You didn't need to have the cake. You didn't need to have this. You should have brought all of your own food, and like, you're just not, you don't want this bad enough. And I think that was one of the really eye-opening things for me, and like night and day experiences, is learning that I can still enjoy those moments and I don't need to pack all my own food. And it's not going to kill my progress, because I was in 2 weddings this past year and I was in a cut and I still enjoyed everything and saw results.
I want to highlight that for a second, because there are, and I'm not even going to paraphrase here, there are some lunatics out there who make health and fitness feel truly unattainable. Like, it's in no way, shape, or form are you bringing all pre-cooked meals and not enjoying the festivities at a bachelorette party. Like, that is so anti-life, and it's the opposite of why we do what we're doing. We're trying to feel better. We're trying to look better. We're trying to enjoy life more. So by applying these things in our fitness protocols, they make every other area of our life better, rather than taking away from every other area to make our health and fitness better, because that doesn't make any sense. And it's unfortunate, and I'm so sorry that you had that experience. It literally is laughable, the way that was handled by them. And it's anyone around listening, seeing what's going on. That's like, it's, first of all, it's an abusive relationship, getting screamed at for having fun at a bachelorette party. But on the other side, like, as a quote unquote leader in the fitness industry, you're setting such a bad example. Like, that is such a wrong way to go about things.
Yeah, I think I obviously don't want to spend a ton of time talking about a negative experience of this idiot. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm so mad that was, I'm so angry that was the
Impression.
the advice, like the impression, the all of it. But I'm even angrier that this is what a fitness professional believes, and now you're instructing that to other people. Like, it's upsetting that that's how she handled her clients. It's even more upsetting that she believes that is true as a fitness professional, because that tells me you have a lot to learn.
So Angie luckily evolved and moved on from that, but there are others who are going to be so turned off that they just, it ends there. Yeah. That's the end of their road.
There will be others who don't step foot in a gym again because they feel too embarrassed or too ashamed or like they don't belong or that they just couldn't cut it. Like that type of trainer is ruining fitness for some people. And that's infuriating to me. And I'm so sorry that you had that experience, Angie. And I'm so glad that you were on the other side of it and that you recognize like there is a better way. This can't be it. So, let's talk about real life for a minute. You are a mom of two. You are working. You are farming. You have late baseball nights, hay season, all of the things. There's obviously a lot on your plate. You are not just sitting home like twiddling your thumbs, right? So, how has coaching helped you find balance and make fitness fit into your life instead of you trying to fit your whole life around your fitness?
Because it's like the one thing I do for me that makes me feel my best, not only for myself, but for my kids. Like I can show my two boys that like, you know, mom is doing this for her. It makes her a better person, not only physically, but mentally. You know, there are days obviously where I do miss a workout because life happens and it's not the end of the world. And, you know, we shift and just, we make it work. But on those days, you like my husband's like, you didn't get your workout in today, did you? It just overall makes me like a better person. And it's no longer like you said, like fitting my day into my workout. It's the other, like, and it just kind of happens. It's easy. It's enjoyable.
I love that. I love that you said like it's easy and like sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and sometimes you do miss a workout, but it's no longer that same perfectionist tendency of like, oh my God, I missed a workout and now I need to cut calories and like this whole spiral of like now I'm not good enough and see I can never follow like you don't it sounds like you don't get there. But it sounds like you and your husband even recognize like I can tell you're not as yourself when you don't get to do that thing for you.
Listen, if you're tired of the all or nothing cycles, the diet starts Monday, the I know what to do, I'm just not doing it feeling, we should probably talk. Our one-on-one online coaching isn't just about workouts and meal plans. It's about building something that actually fits your life. No cookie cutter templates, no guilt, just real coaching and real results. Plus, we've got a pretty big team, so we can even pair you with an expert who actually understands your lifestyle because they've gone through it too. If that sounds like what you've been missing, check out the link in the show notes to apply for coaching. Then we'll send you the link to book a free, no obligation consult call with our team. There are no hard closes. We won't even take your credit card over the phone. You'll get the details to sign up on your own time. And more good news, we are in fact qualified for HSA FSA reimbursement. One last thing, we even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. What are you waiting for? Spots are limited, so apply today. All right, let's get back to the show.
I love how you said it was easy too, because I feel like, I mean, there was a point, I'm sure, and especially in your earlier days where it wasn't easy. And I think that can give a lot of people hope, knowing that they can get to a place where their fitness and their health feels natural. It feels easy. It feels like it just fits in. And I feel like that still is such a taboo thought for so many people out there. And maybe your past self too, Angie. But I think it's really cool to hear you say that it's easy and that it just happens. It just fits. Like to get to that place, that's really where we want all of our clients to get to, is to get to somewhere where this just feels like life. And I think just hearing you say that is so empowering because it almost feels impossible for so many people, but it really isn't when you approach it the right way.
And that's your full circle moment. That's what we're striving for everyone. It's finding the habits, the protocols, the workouts that you can maintain for life. They feel good. They're adding value rather than, we talked about challenges a couple episodes ago, this all or nothing thing for a short period of time. Once you stop maintaining the protocol, you stop maintaining the benefit. And the fact that you found that balance, which is such a taboo word, but it exists, you found that balance for applying this within your life. That's what makes it all last.
So I have two more questions for you, Angie. One, if someone listening to this podcast right now has had a bad experience with a coach, a trainer in a gym, another coaching company, and they feel stuck in that same kind of perfectionist loop that you were previously in, what would you want them to know?
First, I would send them you guys' Instagram and be like, rip the Band-Aid off and just do it. Um, but I would tell them that there are other options. There are better ways than what, they're currently in, and, it rip the Band-Aid off and just get out.
Do it, try it.
Do it, try it.
Do it, try it. And I love, Alessandra, too, that you pivoted back to something Angie said about now it feels easy, because I'm sure there was a point that it did not feel easy. And I know Haley, she's asking all the deep questions, all the reflection questions. She's making you do all the inner work. I'm sure of it. And those are not always easy parts of the coaching experience.
No, but it has definitely helped me. Like, there's been a couple times, like I've gotten compliments from like my best friend said something. She's like, you're like totally like going out to eat. You're not like stressed out, and you're not. And all I can think is like all those reflective questions that like Haley gives that are, sometimes I'm sitting there like doing my weekly check-in, and I'm like, man, this is so hard. Like this kind of stinks. Like I hated English in school because like, you gotta like write things out, and I'm not always good with words. But I'm really appreciative of, Haley's style of coaching and just who Haley is, and, how much she's helped me like grow, not only in this fitness journey, but I feel like just overall.
Yeah, I love that. She is definitely like the personal growth, like self-growth queen for sure. So one last question for you, Angie. You have had the experience of working with two coaches. So for those listening, we have some coaches on our team who coach training and nutrition, and we have other coaches on our team that coach just nutrition. And then if someone wants training, they basically get paired with another coach on our team. So there are some instances in which a client comes in to work with us and they have two of our coaches. So in this case, you have Haley for nutrition mainly and Tom for your training. So I'm curious how that experience has been for you. I don't know if it was overwhelming at first of like, wait, I'm going to have two coaches and two different people. So I want to hear how having that kind of team-based approach of both of them working with you and both of them working together, how that kind of has impacted your experience and your results.
It's honestly been just super smooth. Tom is fantastic at what he does, and I have zero complaints there. He's great at like if I send him a form video 12 different times to make sure like my form is good, he's like spot on, and he'll send me like a voice memo and let me know, that was great, or you need to tweak this, or and then having Haley on the nutrition end of it, and just it's been great. I have no complaints,
Love it.
and just it's chef's kiss.
Good. Yeah, you kind of get a little twofer special with two different coaches with two different eyes, four different eyes on things. So I love that. Angie, is there anything else that you want to add? Anything else you wanted to chat through, or that you would want people to hear or know about you or your coaching experience, or anything else?
Just that, like, honestly, it is possible to see results without perfection. And just like Haley's really been phenomenal with teaching me that consistency is far more important than that perfection. And like even working out, like there are days where like things just get really busy and I don't always have time to do, the little bit of cardio that Tom has programmed at the end. And a previous version of myself would have been like, well, I'm not going to have time for that. So like, it's a wash. Something is better than nothing. And as long as you're able to complete even just a little bit of that, you're going to be fine. So really just that all or nothing mindset it's ditch it.
Ditch
Beautifully
it.
put.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Angie. It was such a pleasure talking with you, and I'm so excited to just continue watching you crush it with Haley and Tom.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
This has been great, Angie. Thank you so much for being on. We are going to wrap up this conversation with the reminder that change doesn't come in one big moment. It's built in the ways you keep showing up. So take what you learned today and build the best version of yourself for tomorrow. We'll catch you guys in the next one.